Ho, ho, ho.
Merry Christmas!
Tis the season to hawk some podcasts.
La 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 la.
That's right. This year, we're peddling you our new bullshit. Is that good for an ad?
It's honest. It's probably the most honest thing you've ever done.
That's how you sell.
We're giving you some bullshit.
Business 101, be honest.
Nothing says sell like coughing fits.
Yeah.
We're doing a thing like we did last time.
Yes.
Remember?
Black Friday, Christmas Eve, Black Friday at midnight. We're dropping a new.
We're hitting Duncan's toy chest. 5 floors of cash.
Yep.
We're selling you. We did a full Christmas thing. It's fun. You guys are going to love it if you like us. It's us playing games, having guests, all Christmas talk.
And more importantly, it's for charity.
Well, for us this year.
There's no charity
There's
this
no
year.
charity involved?
No.
We're the charity this year.
Are you serious?
We got in trouble with taxes last year. We're not doing it.
Are you serious?
No. We're the charity this year.
All right, so let's just get this straight. None of your money is going to charity.
and you're buying bullshit.
Holy shit.
We're the good cause this year. I will say, whatever, I do want to say this, whatever third is sold. So if we sell, let's say $300 of albums, I'm sending 100 to a charity of my own. But the bank account, the company account needs the money badly.
Brian's pockets need to be lined.
No, the company's account needs to be lined. Let's be fucking real, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we don't make any money. We got to fucking do this to help the account desperately. So, if you like us, please fucking buy the album.
What's the cost? $1 or something?
It's $5.
$5.
And you're getting 4.5 hours of laughs almost. We do
$1 an
Look
hour.
at it this way, folks. If you don't buy this, there's a good chance this show is going away.
Ed is so far removed, he's off camera.
Sorry, gang.
We're done.
buy the album like you're fucking.
He was ready
your
to
love
burn
for the show
books.
depends on it.
He's ready to burn the books. And just
Give it as gifts. Do whatever you can. Buy the album. I really think you guys are going to have fun with it if you like us. Also,
maybe you know someone who you think would like us, but is too lazy to actually hit the button. You may do it for.
Buy it. This gives a good gift.
Yeah.
Also, on the Reviewing History Pod website, there's merch, which I will be wearing in the future. It's hot off the presses. Ugly sweaters with the new album cover on. It's called The Christmas Freak Off. I think you guys are gonna have a lot of fun listening to this. So please go on bandcamp.com, follow the page to get the alerts. Buy it on Black Friday. Go to reviewinghistorypod.com, buy some shirts and sweaters.
We gotta move some shirts. Gotta move some products.
Yep.
These shirts gotta go.
We gotta go.
If we don't move products, we're gonna have to sell one of the cameras to keep it going. It's gonna be a wide shot.
You don't want that.
You don't want that.
No one wants that. So, all right. Enjoy the episode, guys. Hello, you're listening to Reviewing History, your comedy history podcast. I'm filmmaker and teacher Brian Rupert, joined here by...
As always, Team Doug there.
And...
Angie.
How we doing, guys?
It's Christmas Day.
How
Christmas. Could we be bad?
It's glorious.
What more do you want?
It's a beautiful time of year.
Even though I'm going to try to drop this the 23rd so people actually listen to it.
Oh, you're going to put this out early?
I'm going to try.
Wait, that's tomorrow.
Yeah.
There's zero chance of that.
Yeah, you're not.
I can get it out tomorrow or the 24th.
Don't do that.
Right, whatever. People already know when it came out because they're listening to
Yeah.
it. Why are we talking about it?
Listen,
I saw 3 ships come sailing in.
Whether it's the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, it's Christmas time. It's probably. Is this the best time of the year? Is it
I
really?
think so.
I think it is.
I love Christmas.
I feel like I've been feeling it this year. I'm feeling the magic.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I gave him a gift.
Is it because of the Bandcamp sales?
No, it's not because of the Bandcamp sales. I'm not even sure how much we made on the Bandcamp, but I'm told it was better than last year, which is great.
Correct.
Yeah. A lot
Yeah.
better than last year.
Yes.
And we didn't have to share it with those St. Jude brats.
Thank you, everyone who
Now they're going to
purchased
ask
the
for
Christmas
returns.
tree. You really
Yeah.
you've warmed the cockles of my heart. I
Yeah, that
appreciate
was
it.
very
He didn't
nice.
even need 3 ghosts. He just needed podcast sales.
Podcast money.
And if you didn't get it,
and
you
now I am redeemed.
yeah, look, and you could still redeem yourself, like Scrooge. There's still time. If
Where are
you
your
listen to
3
this.
ghosts now?
Yes.
2 Italians and a Jew.
Reviewing history, bandcamp.com. All right, wait. This is which ghost would
You're
each
announcing
of
your
us...
Jewishness?
No.
Damn it.
Maybe next year. Look, I have said if the Jets win a Super Bowl, I will
Convert to Christian.
I will start to believe. Hasn't happened. In fact, it gets worse and worse. But no, if each of us were one of the ghosts from A Christmas Carol, which would each of us be? I think I'm definitely present.
You're present.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Ant's past. He knows the history. I'm future. I love tech.
It's dark.
Easy.
It's dark.
It's easy.
Not talking like it's a guest episode.
Right. Just pointing.
Like a Zoom guest episode.
Like there's a Zoom guest. He gets 2 words in.
I can't get a single word in. It's impossible. The delay. It got to the point the only person who spoke was you.
Yeah.
I think I was doing the audio track and I'm like, oh, I gotta find the places where Brian spoke.
This is a pick episode
it was like
now,
4
isn't it?
times.
No. This is Mary.
It was
We're
like
supposed
4
to talk
times.
about Mary. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
I'm sorry, I just made
We
a
are.
joke.
We get to pick.
No, we're doing Mary. I want Mary.
Mary.
Mary. Oh, Mary.
Yeah. So
All right, but it is Christmas, so guys, get ready. We're getting
That's
religious
Christmas.
on your ass
Yes.
today.
well,
Yes.
it's the whole reason why it exists.
The reason for the season.
Yes.
Look, and regardless of how you feel about the divinity of the subject or not, and how
just know that
true
there's
it is.
one true God, Jesus Christ.
What the thing that
Yeah.
the
Correct.
thing that I don't think can be debated on a real level.
No
is-
one serious is going to tell you Jesus didn't exist.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's the thing. So it's like,
Edgy teenagers.
whether you
do
believe the divinity or not is a whole other issue.
Mhm.
But I think it's factually proven that the guy existed.
Yes.
So this movie is about the Virgin Mary leading up to the birth of Jesus,
Yes.
I guess.
that in a way that only Netflix could do.
Unfucking believable.
Yeah.
So I called up. My uncle is a reverend,
Uh-huh.
and I'm watching it. And
In what faith? Do
uh,
we know?
some Protestant shit.
Right.
Like,
You're so respectful.
so dismissive.
well, there's just
Some Protestant bullshit.
There's just
Who
a-
are you, me?
well, no, it's because there's so many.
Mhm.
I don't know which one. I'm sure he's an evangelical of some sort.
Okay.
Like
Well, you spoke to him.
he's told me Jesus has come and spoken to him, and that's why he became
Wow.
Christian.
I believe him.
Communed with the divine personally?
That's what he says. Jesus came to him,
I'm not doubting him.
and he became a
I'm-
reverend. He was a Jew his whole life.
Mhm.
He was in a dark state. Like, he told stories about he was like a crazy wild man. Like, he put his gun on people and shit.
He's
Like,
a cop.
he was a cop.
Mm.
He was at his lowest point in his life, and he said one day he was in his kitchen, and Jesus appeared to him through the window. And after that, he devoted the rest of his life to Christ, and he became a reverend.
Wow.
And he has like his congregation now. So
Wow.
so I called
It's
him 2
good
days
stuff.
ago when I watched this.
Uh-huh.
And I'm no biblical expert, but I know
You know
a
the basic
fair,
You know
story.
enough.
I
You
know,
know
I
enough.
know a fair amount.
You know more
And
than the average
as I'm
person.
watching, I'm like, I never heard
Yeah.
about Lucifer coming to Mary.
But
be
trying
like,
to rape her.
Let's fuck Mary.
So, as a practicing Catholic,
Yeah.
Yes.
there's really one major issue that borders on sacrilege and blasphemy that makes me have to hate this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't think it's that bad. I was expecting a lot worse
Mm-hmm.
because it's Netflix and they have a reputation.
Well, the director's
And
really Catholic.
I
supposedly.
actually found he's not a very good one if that's true. I found that the Lucifer shit was actually my favorite stuff in the movie.
That's the best stuff in the movie, but none of that's in the Bible.
No,
which is the only text you could really go for record on this.
Again, I'll
Sure.
just put this on. I'm not a theologian either. But I have looked I've read what people are saying about this movie as far as priests and people that watched it, and the one guy I was watching was saying that the movie does a great job of actually talking about the non-biblical texts that are associated with it, like stuff with Mary's parents,
The everyday stuff.
which isn't in the fucking which isn't in the scripture.
So
it's not in the gospel.
So I called up my real quick. I just want to finish with my uncle because I told him, I was like, "Would you mind watching the movie for me, and then giving me a call and
telling you what he thought,
and we could talk?" He's like, "I could only make it through about half of the movie."
Wow, he was just that.
He was like
that disgusting.
He's like, it's non-scripture. He's like, a lot of this is bullshit. He goes, the only scripture that matters to me is John, because he's like, it was written in 90 AD when he was 90. It's like he was born like the same time as Jesus. It's like
your uncle only acknowledges one gospel. That's
pretty brutal. But you know what? At least he acknowledges one.
Maybe on this source, I don't know.
The nativity story. This whole story is from Mark and Luke, so he's not even gonna know about that. So
I'm probably
I don't know
saying the wrong thing, but
I'm putting words in someone's mouth.
Sorry. But he basically was like as far as the record, he's like, I went to scriptures looking for did Mary live in a temple? He's like I couldn't find any of this shit.
She did.
So
yeah, she was presented at the temple. There's the prophetess Anna.
No, all that stuff.
Yeah.
He's happened, but as far as her living in the temple at a certain point,
I'm fairly certain she lived in the temple for 11 years.
It's like school.
Is that in the?
I believe that is in the
Gospels. The Catholic Bible. Or?
Well, yeah, probably.
So that was the thing.
Look, I mean, all of the Protestant stuff, sex and things, they'll take things out that they don't like. You know. Look, and you could probably say the same thing about Apocrypha and all that, and this is stuff that's been debated for thousands of years at this point. We're not going to solve any problems here.
That's what you think.
But my big problem, as I alluded to
I'm curious,
before,
what is the thing?
Is that the movie, it essentially denies the Immaculate Conception, and the way it does it in a roundabout way.
Okay, I'm curious about this.
What the Immaculate Conception needs to be clarified, because you hear that and everybody immediately thinks, well, that's how Jesus was conceived, because Mary was a virgin by God, and that's the Immaculate Conception. That is not the Immaculate Conception. The Immaculate Conception is actually the conception of Mary herself, not Christ. She was born without original sin. Okay?
She was too?
Yes. Now, Eve, way back in the Garden of Eden, brought sin into the world by listening to the devil. And as punishment for that, womankind has been blighted with labor pains when giving birth.
Okay.
Labor pains are the result of original sin.
Okay.
Standard Christian Catholic tradition. She was born without original sin, conceived by grace, full of grace, by the Holy Spirit. She had the Holy Spirit in her in the womb. In fact, you can talk to some people who will tell you that she was self-aware in the womb.
Okay.
Which, I don't know.
I
wasn't there. So when in the movie she gives birth to Christ,
she has birthing pains.
And she gives birth to him naturally. Mary, in Catholic tradition, is a perpetual virgin. Her hymen was never broken. In order for that to give birth, that would happen. So medically speaking, they're now denying that that Mary was perpetually a virgin. In Catholic tradition, we don't know how exactly it happened, but Christ was delivered into the world by miraculous means, meaning, I don't know, maybe a beam of light shot out of her vagina, and he appeared. It was not done like a human being.
Okay.
So I know it sounds wacky in this modern day and age, but that is the tradition.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
by depicting a natural birth of Jesus Christ, you are denying the Immaculate Conception because she experiences labor pains, and
denying God,
saying that she had original sin.
Now, is that only Catholics that believe she was born with original sin?
I believe so.
Because I've spoken to
Yeah.
the not Catholics.
Yes.
And they will say the only person ever born without original sin is Jesus.
And this is one of the major sticking points with Protestants and Catholics is Mary and her veneration.
Yes. Well, yeah, the Protestants don't venerate her. You guys do.
Joel Osteen is the #1 backer of this movie. He
financed it?
Yes.
Oh.
Joel Osteen is a non-denominational megachurch preacher guy.
Yeah.
See him every Sunday morning on your TV.
People have dubious opinions on him. I don't know what his deal is. I don't follow the man, so I'm not gonna
get him. What do you guys say about Joel Osteen?
You love Joel.
Do you have something to say about
a lot
him
of people
on
love
mic, or?
Joel.
I've watched some Joel sermons.
Everyone has caught some Joel at some point in their life. If you ever home on a Sunday when you were a kid, Joel was on your TV.
You've seen at least a commercial.
Yeah.
This is my Bible. That's what it says.
Yeah. My understanding of the non-denominational shit is essentially it's as broad as humanly possible, so that they can get anybody. Yeah.
All right.
But I don't know the detail. I'm not going to pretend to know the details of it. So if Joel approves of this, just know it's not Catholic. And
it's wide.
Yes. If you're a Catholic watching this movie, you're not watching scripture. You're watching a Hollywood movie.
Yeah.
And it's not just
I don't
that.
think
I
don't think it goes out of its way though to be. I don't think it has malicious.
I don't
intent.
either. I don't think it's malicious at all. I just think this is a different interpretation for a different faith.
Yeah.
It's trying to appeal to modern man, which is insanely materialistic and is not going to give the benefit of the doubt to miracles.
The opening line alone is the problem too.
The movie begins.
Which I wanted to shut it off. First line.
Same thing.
First line.
I was like, okay, I hate this already.
What is the opening line?
The opening line is Mary standing in the desert.
Let's jump into the movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
Came out this year, if you didn't know, on Netflix recently, about a month ago or something like that. Has Anthony Hopkins, right?
He stinks in it, by the way.
You don't like Hopkins?
I think he's bad.
I think he's fine. I think it's Hopkins.
He's good Herod.
Bunch of Israeli actors and actresses, which I liked. The Angels, not so much. We'll get into. Now, what does she say? First line.
We're changing the story.
You may think you know my story. Trust me, you don't.
I honestly thought it was going to be girl boss shit after that.
wanted to throw my phone through the TV.
I was like, I saw that. I was like, oh,
Here we go. Millennial Mary.
It is weird to start the movie like that because for the most part, if you look at it broadly, it follows the story that we basically all know.
The world knows your story. What are you talking about?
No, but they're saying like we're changing shit. This isn't the story you know.
Yep, we're gonna be real here.
And if you're gonna do that with the Bible, there's gonna be problems. But I think that was a false alarm for the most part.
Yeah, I think it's a hook to get people into the movie.
Yeah. But like it had a very like, are we in 2019 watching Girl Boss movie?
Right.
That would have been awesome if Mary just kicked Herod's ass.
I honestly would have.
It's not.
I
too
felt
far
like that was
off.
going to happen. Like she don't need no man.
It came close.
Joseph's a fucking cuck.
Joseph is a real fucking. He gets mocked in this and called a cuck, basically.
He does.
Yeah, but then he like murders people.
Yeah,
which is insane.
Almost shut it off there.
Joseph in this looks just like a young Jerry Lewis.
Does he?
Have you ever seen young Jerry Lewis?
He looks Spanish.
He does look Spanish.
Not Spanish. He looks South American.
So the movie begins with Joaquin and Anne, Mary's parents.
Well,
who we know were advanced in age.
Yeah.
And wanting a child. He does kind of look
like
a little bit.
Yeah. Good call.
Jerry was a handsome man.
He's handsome.
Yeah, it's just people think of him as a dork.
Goofball,
yeah, but it was like, no,
his nutty professor teeth in.
Yeah. Well, Joaquin. How do you say it?
It's Joaquin.
Is it Joaquin?
Joaquin, whatever.
It's Joaquin.
It's been pronounced numerous ways.
Yeah. Joaquin.
The patron saint of fathers now, by the way.
I did not know that.
Yeah. I don't know either. Traveling through the desert. He's
not traveling.
He's fasting. Yeah. He's going through a thing.
And this is supposedly a thing that happened.
Yes.
And now I get the next scene. So right out the gate, it's two scenes I wanted to turn this off. There's a man in blue.
Gabriel. The angel.
The angel Gabriel. They briefly show him talking to Joaquin. saying, "You will have a daughter," and this like cloth flies through the air, and it's really cool. But then you kind of get a close up of Gabriel, and you start to notice some things. Gabriel is an Australian black boxer, the actor,
Okay.
who has tattoos on his hands.
I did not
I didn't
catch
notice
the
the
tattoo
tattoos.
on his hands.
Yeah.
That would bother me if I saw it, but I did not. I
s-
did not have a problem
Quick
with this.
glimpse, and I'm like, oh no, this is not good.
What I liked about that casting, I thought Gabriel was cast. What I liked about it is he's kind of weird looking.
Yeah, he's a
and like
weird
other,
looking-
it's
yes.
otherworldly. Where
Yes.
I like that, where
I
it's
actually
like
liked him.
I thought that was good casting. I was like, we don't know what an angel looks like. It's supposedly aren't they supposed to be like all just floating eyeballs? Like if you like want to get
No.
If you're on the internet.
Yeah, no,
isn't that what
angels.
they say?
No,
Right?
angels are their hair should be golden and white. They're not that. They look weird. It's cool. It's
I
cool.
liked that he
Human
looked
take,
weird. I don't
I
know.
didn't have a problem with the interpretation.
but the tattoos really my body temperature.
By the way,
rose.
Gabriel, it seems like he's doing all the work out of all these angels here.
He's
What
the-
are the rest of them
He's the
doing?
herald of
Yeah,
God.
he's the voice of God.
Yeah.
He's doing his will.
Just a quick, thing here. The house of David from way back in the day,
Yes.
which is no longer the kings of Israel, but their lineage is still around, prophesied that the Messiah would come from that line. That's why Joachim is so hung up about not having a child, because
Is he the last of that line?
I think so.
So is Jesus related to David? Then?
Yes.
I did
He's
not.
descendant.
I didn't know that he was of that bloodline.
Mhm.
Which I guess we should talk real quick about. I mean, I'm sure people know, but the Jews are prophesized in the Old Testament that a Messiah would be born to
Yes.
them that would save the Jews,
Save the
Yeah.
world.
save the world and the Jews, right?
Mhm.
And again, this is kind of the main schism between Judaism and Christianity.
It is the schism.
It's the whole thing where it's like we believe he's still coming.
The
you
Jews
guys
walking
believe he
around today
came.
are the ones who denied Christ.
Yes.
No way around that one.
No,
That's
it's-
what it is.
Look,
Um,
you guys believe he came.
You could even
we
go
believe
as
he did.
you can-
but yeah, so the line of David, right? So Gabriel comes down, says, "You're having a daughter. Good on you." And in exchange, you are going to devote. She is going to devote her life to God.
God, yeah.
She has no problem with this, of course. I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea. Like God is forcing you to be devoted. No,
Mhm.
she's like, yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah.
She's all on board with it. And when she is born at the age of 3, I believe, she was brought to the temple in Jerusalem. They're from Nazareth, by the way.
Yes.
There's 3 major areas, well, actually 4, that you need to know about here. One is Nazareth, the other is Bethlehem, of course, Jerusalem, and Egypt, which will play a minor role in the story and more so after the fact.
Mhm.
Should we talk about the Romans, how they have control
Also,
of the
uh,
area?
You know what?
Ian Kerem.
We should get into Herod, I guess.
I think we need to.
Yeah. So,
Well, Herod reigns over Judea.
if you're a fan of this show, you may remember a little film we did about a year ago.
The Old
A
Testament.
little
Yes.
ditty. A little ditty.
The Old Testament, which told the story of the Maccabees and the invention of the Jewish free state in Judea,
Yes.
right? Is the birth of Israel. Well, not the birth, the rebirth. Fair?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, the Maccabees end up having a queen, and she dies without an heir. And then the two brothers that are like next in line end up having a civil war. They don't like each other. They have a war. One of them is a guy named, hold on, I think it's Hyracus, but I just want to get the pronunciation right. Yeah, Hyracus. He decides that the best way to win this war is to call
Rome.
Pompey Magnus. It's never a good idea to call Pompey
No.
Magnus to fight your war for you. Because if that happens, you're going to end up as a Roman province
Vassal, yeah.
/puppet. But he does. Pompey comes. Pompey has been stomping his way across the Mediterranean for a few years at this point. He's actually killed every single pirate in the Mediterranean Sea.
Wow.
That is what he's famous for.
He's cleared the
Rome
the
was
pirate.
having a ton of problems with piracy, and Pompey hunted down every last pirate and killed them all.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's
Very
why he's the
impressive.
great.
Hollywood would like him to come back.
So Hyracus is now essentially a vassal of Rome, but he is the king of Judea. A couple of years go by. there's an anti-Roman uprising. And Mark Antony, a young Mark Antony, comes to Jerusalem to put down this revolt. And while he's there, he befriends a guy named
Timon the Horse Jew.
No, not Timon the Horse Jew. Herod's father. He befriends Herod's father, who was a prominent citizen in Jerusalem.
Okay. Is he Jewish?
Okay. So Herod is descended from like Arabs that converted to Judaism for like over a century. His family's been Jewish for a century.
Okay.
But some of the ethnic Jews don't.
They won't count him as
They're
Jewish.
like, he's not really a Jew. He's not really one of us.
Yeah.
But they are practicing Hebrews. Herod's father gets in good with Antony. That'll come into play later. Herod is a young man at this time. Anyway, the major politics of Rome are going on. We all know this is probably one of the most tumultuous times ever in human history. The first triumvirate goes through its whole thing. We talked about Crassus in the past. Yeah. Caesar becomes also very familiar with Antipater, and since he's friends with Antony, then they're buddies. Once Caesar wins the war against Pompey, he awards those that were loyal to him out in the provinces, like Antipater, with rewards.
Yeah.
So he becomes a member of the government. He gets land. He becomes the tetrarch of Jerusalem, which is like a minor governor.
Oh yeah,
the kingdom.
the high governor of
the guy Heraclius is still the king.
Okay.
Caesar gets killed 44 BC.
We know what came of him.
So now there's a new civil war. Antony and Octavian, they'll fight later. Well, they're fighting a little bit now. And of course, Cassius and Brutus, who murdered Caesar. Antipater falls in with Cassius and Brutus. They're in the east. And they're, the old Republicans. The what do they call them? Not the Popular, is the other one. Help me.
I don't know.
All right, whatever.
Help me. I don't know.
Long story short, Cassius and Brutus do not win. Antipater is forced to go to Rome and beg forgiveness.
Yeah.
He's like, look, I had to do what I had to do. And Antony, who likes it, he's his friend, kind of forgives him and sets him up back in Judea as a big man, an even bigger man than he was. He's like, you're cool. We're good.
Yeah. I get it. You didn't really have a choice.
Right. So then the Parthians invade. Parthians are like this era's version of the Persian Empire.
Okay.
They're off to the east.
Zoroastrian.
They are Zoroastrians, yes. Yeah. The Parthians invade. They take Jerusalem. Antipater dies around this time, and Herod is his successor. Now, Herod, who's not popular among the Jews. No, they don't like to see this guy in charge because, like I said,
the blood thing.
The blood thing. Herod's response to the Parthian invasion is to flee to Rome. And while he's in Rome,
I'm sure people love that.
Yeah. He starts wheeling and dealing with the power players. This is what's in the show, by the way.
Yeah. In Rome.
Yes.
Mm.
And he gets a Roman army essentially to back him. He comes at the head of a Roman army. He's leading it, and he retakes Jerusalem. Makes himself the king in the name of Caesar, of Augustus.
Yeah. I'm a king, but I'm under Caesar.
Right. When Octavian and Antony fight each other, he backs Antony, which is the losing side. When after the battle of Actium, where Antony and Cleopatra are defeated, Herod has to go to Rhodes, the island, where he meets Augustus for the first time. Yeah, that's where the Colossus was. He meets Augustus and essentially says he doesn't grovel. He goes, look, Antony was my friend. I backed him. And that's just how it is. And Octavian actually respected him. And he was like, your honesty is worth, I can use you.
Yeah.
So he allows him to be the king. So in Augustus's name, he's now ruling. And and he's also I should say this. He's also styling himself as a pagan Jew. So the Romans like this. The Jews don't like this.
He's blending the
but
Roman shit with
the power is
Judaism.
in the hands of Rome.
Yeah.
They have the military. They have the money.
Make them happy.
He's their
you'll
puppet.
have power.
Right.
That's all.
So he goes back to Jerusalem and immediately starts building. Giant, massive public works, aqueducts, temples. One of them is Masala, where the Jewish revolt will happen decades down the road.
He's building like what Life of Brian. What have the Romans ever done?
Essentially,
Yeah, yeah.
that's all Herod.
Yeah.
Herod is he loved building.
He's a contractor.
Which generally makes you very popular. He rebuilds the second temple. Well, the second temple is first temple, of course, is the ancient one that got destroyed when the Babylonians came. The second temple's been like a cheap knockoff ever since. He expands it and makes it giant. The Western Wall that is sitting there today, that every president in America has to go kiss for some reason, that is Herod. He put that up. The Jew, he's doing things like in the movie. I love this in the movie. This was actually great. The big fucking eagle on the temple, the big Roman eagle. Yeah. That really happened. Guys came and tore it down. They had to be hunted down.
Yeah, they hate that.
Yeah, right. Romans go home. Remember Life of Brian?
Yeah. Life of Brian, historically accurate.
Yeah. So, long, I'll cut to the chase here. Towards the end of his life, he invades the Nabatean lands. Now, this is in deep Arabia.
Okay.
Like, do you remember the end of Last Crusade, that temple there?
Yes.
That is called what the fuck's it called?
Is that in Tunisia?
No, it's in Arabia. It's called Petrus. Look it up.
Yeah.
But it's a real place, and that is associated with the Nabatean civilization. Herod tries to get them, and he bungles the war.
It's in Jordan.
Yeah.
The Al Khazana, known as the Treasury in Petra, Jordan.
Petra, yeah. So when he loses this war, he loses favor with Augustus, and that makes him very paranoid.
He's vulnerable.
Yeah. You don't want to piss off the emperor, especially this emperor, who's known for like having his fucking relatives put in exile and murdered.
Yeah.
And all this stuff.
You disappoint him, you're running risk.
Herod starts to change. He starts to become insanely tyrannical. He's murdering his family members. Kills 2 of his own sons. Augustus said it's safer to be a Gaul in Alesia than it is to be Herod's son or something. He has a quote like that. He kills his wife. He kills
Which is in the movie.
Yes, he kills all of her family. Anyone he thinks could possibly
threat to his
threaten
power,
him.
Yeah.
And of course, what he's most famous for is the incident with the children, the massacre of the innocents. This comes from the Gospel of Mark. It's not really written about anywhere else, and they've had a hard time trying to find any archaeological evidence for it. There's a guy in the Church of the Nativity right now who thinks he's found a mass grave full of babies.
At the Church of the Nativity?
Yeah, so the Church of the Nativity, I'll just say this. When Constantine, the first Christian emperor, this is hundreds of years down the road, when he became emperor, he sent his mother to the Holy Land, and her job was to find all of the biblical sites. So she found, the Golgotha where Christ was crucified.
Okay.
She finds the manger, and they put big churches on all these places. And the Church of the Nativity is in Bethlehem today, which is in the West Bank, so it's very hard to get to.
Yeah, and that's where the I guess the barn would be.
Well, believe it or not, it's more like a cave.
Okay.
When we say room at the inn, imagery, pops up in our heads of like, this is a hotel.
Yeah.
It's more like somebody's guest room in their house. And it was probably a cave. The Church of the Nativity, it's definitely if that is the proper spot.
Yeah.
Which it most likely is. They've done, innumerable excavations and things like this is the spot. Then it was probably like a cave type thing. You can see it.
I've always heard.
I'm sure you're showing pictures of the place now.
Yeah.
But yeah, And Beaver even talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Just, the
I did.
animals and all this
It's
comes
not,
from
it's
St.
not
Francis
the one
of
in
Assisi.
Fairhaven, New Jersey, correct?
No.
Yeah, the actual barn with animals
Yeah.
that and human as a baby, that was all St. Francis. That
Mhm.
was never like a thing until him.
Yeah.
And took some liberty adding some animals because in his eyes everything is God, including bacteria and viruses. So why not add animals?
I'll wrap up Herod. I could do it now. We can wait till it gets to it in the movie, but it's not in the movie.
No.
But roughly, we think sometime around 4 BC. This is when the Romans reported anyway. Herod dies, and he dies a horribly excruciating death of brutal flesh-eating disease that essentially ate him alive.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Hard to feel bad for someone that massacred babies like that.
Babies and his family. He was just an evil guy.
And the whole what I didn't say is that the catalyst for that is this prophecy that's going around that people are talking about the Messiah has been born.
The real king.
The Kwisatz
king-
Haderach.
Yes, the Kwisatz Haderach, Jesus Christ himself, King of the Jews.
And maybe had Herod heard that he's king, but of another dimension, he probably would have been like, oh, well, I'm still king? Yeah, I'm still king. Might have took it a little lighter.
You can keep your worldly kingdoms. There is something greater than you.
Exactly.
He
just probably thought it was a king.
And before I just want to say this about myself. I may be coming off here as some kind of hoity-toity. I'm not. I have no time for anything that isn't biblically accurate or something. I love Jesus Christ Superstar. I absolutely adore it. I've been listening to it since I was a kid. It's fucking great, and it is not the Bible. I can tolerate a certain level of silliness and not being fucking real.
Yeah.
King Herod, who died when Jesus was a baby,
Has some rocking too.
he rocks hard in the fucking musical. He's dancing around with girls in bikinis. He's fat and Jewy.
Maybe for Easter we'll do that.
Yeah.
Doesn't Judas have the best songs?
Judas is fucking awesome.
Didn't you audition for Judas in high school?
No, I found out they were performing it after they had already done all the casting. So
Okay.
I was mad.
that you weren't in it.
I was mad. I was like, no one else should be doing this except me. And I wasn't going to do it unless I was either Judas or Jesus. Those are the
Yeah.
only two roles I would
The real ones.
do. So
You wouldn't have done Herod?
no, absolutely not. I'm better than that. I'm gonna be the star. You make me the star, I'm not doing it. So I never bothered to go watch it because I was mad. I was mad about
Okay.
it. I found out too late. Otherwise, I would have went. I would have did it. I would have loved that.
So let's talk about Aristobulus.
Yeah.
That's how you pronounce it. So there's a man in the city preaching about Aristobulus and how he's going to be the savior, and how King Herod is evil and he's not really, our king.
Yeah, Aristobulus is one of the zealots,
Yes.
who are a faction that is growing of essentially rebellious Hebrews
That
that
are-
want to
they're-
they want to create a new Maccabee thing.
Yeah, they're against the Romanization
Mhm.
of
Mhm.
Judaism.
In fact, there was a revolt led by these guys called the New Maccabees, which Herod personally crushed with his Roman enforcers.
Mhm.
So the whole we're gonna rebuild the kingdom is always in the air. The Jews are just a problem for Rome for decades to come.
We've been a problem for a lot of people.
One of the most destructive wars that Rome ever had to fight was the Great Jewish Revolt in 77 AD.
Post Jesus.
Yes, that's when.
Is that when they put the Jews
That's when
in
they
the
destroyed
diaspora?
Jerusalem. Yeah, right.
And-
Yeah, they actually had to just kill everyone,
Yeah.
and then the Jews got scattered.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Anyway, so
Well, this guy preaching gets chained. He gets beat. Then you see we meet the captain of the Roman army,
Oh, the guy who looks like Nandor.
Yes.
Yeah,
He kills
I
Aristobulus.
thought it was Nandor from What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah, he kills Aristobulus.
Marcellus.
He stabs him, and then you get a shot of Herod, and he kills, his wife or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's just you're seeing the evil.
That guy, I had a couple of issues with him. I
Couple?
don't know him from any.
Couple of issues.
Well,
Romans had long flowing hair, man.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah, they all had long hair. What the fuck, man? Did you not look up anything? 10 seconds.
He dresses like a Roman. He's got a Roman name, but he certainly does not look Roman.
He's not Roman.
He's an Icelandic guy. His name is
He's a Viking.
Gudmundur Thorvaldsson.
He's a Viking.
That's the most Viking fucking dude ever.
And I'm not talking about just he's too white for it or something. No,
No.
he's dressed him up like a Roman. Give him the haircut.
Shave his head. Give him a bald cap.
Romans in this period did not wear beards unless they were
Never.
fucking out, like in the wilderness.
Outcasts.
I think that's kind of a modern style decision to appeal to a modern audience who doesn't know better.
Maybe.
Obviously,
I
we're
just
gonna
found
nitpick
myself
it.
question. I couldn't stop thinking about him. Like, is he Roman? Is he not Roman? He's
Yeah.
got a gladius.
Yeah. But like he has long, like that's why the military has shaved heads. Like it's the whole purpose. You won't want to have anything that you can grab your head. And he's just like, I don't care. I'm the captain. What?
I got like I made my own lore in my head when I was watching. I was like, I guess he's retired, and like he's just
helping out.
He's gone native, you know.
Well, while this is happening, Anne is pregnant with Mary, and she gives birth to Mary.
And did we say? Gabriel basically told him.
Yes,
because they were having trouble.
You're
conceiving.
gonna have a daughter.
Yeah,
and she's gonna have to grow up, in the eyes of God and be holy. And which he's like, okay,
yeah.
And that's what happens.
Now, they're present, her parents, throughout the whole movie, and we know that they were of advanced years when she was born, probably in their 40s or 50s, I would imagine. Too old, probably, to have children
At that time,
yeah,
without complication, yes. It's a legit miracle
and
by human standard.
They kind of leave this. They die like before Mary has Jesus.
In the Bible.
Yeah. Like they're not around, and yet they're present with this whole movie for the most part. Do they die in the movie?
No.
One.
Yeah.
The father dies.
In a way that we'll get to it.
Yeah. So yeah, there's that inaccuracy too. That one I don't think is that egregious. It's just a movie. I'm not gonna get mad at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think as long as you're not fucking with the lore of the thing.
I don't like the use of the term
lore. Yeah. Lore.
But yeah, I know what you mean.
The story. Don't fuck with the story.
Important stuff.
It's mythology.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
It's the lore of the mythology.
But we're not talking about 40K here.
It's not.
Yeah,
it's not. But I mean, lore doesn't have to mean
Yes.
fictional.
Yes.
It's
Yeah. They have a really great line here, Joaquin. He says, each olive is a gift from God, so treat it, kind. And that means that extra virgin olive oil is king. We know this.
The king's
know this.
oil.
It is the best
Italians have
oil
known
to
it
cook with.
for a long time.
Dip that right in my bread Maron.
Salt, pepper, Parmesan, little red pepper
fuck.
flakes.
You're making my mouth water.
Come on. What's up? Little pepper in there? I might have to step out for a second. I'm getting all hot. Well, now we get I like the next scene here.
Okay.
Noam is playing with Mary. They're running through a field.
Her friend.
Friend. And there's a giant thing of butterflies following her.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Yeah.
that's nice.
That's cool.
It's a nice little homage.
It's showing that there's something.
There's something supernatural.
Well, a lot of times people have like a holy experience. They will feel themselves or see butterflies like flying.
Papillon?
Papillon, yeah. And they go to pick some figs, which Manon. Little wrapper jute, little goat cheese. I'm hungry.
Like my mother used to make. She sliced up the garlic in the pan, Mike.
Mary knew what's up. She knew what figs were.
Well,
and how
Mary,
great
did
they
you
were.
know? She knew all about the
That
spices.
fucking song.
What? What's wrong with it?
Well, the whole thing with that song is, did you know that you had the Son of God? It's like, yes, she did. She knew from the time she was a child.
I was thinking
Yeah.
about.
God told her right away.
In the womb.
I was thinking about that
Mhm.
the entire time. I was thinking about Mary. Did you know? And I was like, Mary, do you know? Doesn't jive with this movie because I was like, she knows
Yeah.
right away,
Yeah.
but she doesn't know specifically what until the right time.
Yeah. I mean, the angel shows up. Be not afraid. You know,
Yeah.
He's going to fill her in.
And this now in the movie, Mary's grows to be like a teenager. And Gabriel comes and is like, time for her to go to the temple of awesome hats.
Yes, the Pharisees.
Best hats in the
Those
business.
hats, they look like quail man
Yeah.
hats.
Best hats. in
They're
the
like
business.
giant belt buckles.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Pull up the Pharisees from Jesus Christ Superstar. I want you to see what these guys look like.
They got church. It's a church of amazing hats.
Oh, it's fucking wild.
Oh,
that-
yeah.
And no shirts, and they're all hippies. You get the movie.
They have the hat.
the 1970 something
Look
movie.
at this.
Yeah, those guys.
Look at this. Come on.
Caiaphas.
Yeah.
Imagine if your high priest was that guy.
God wants you to wear a hat.
Yes, he does.
Hence.
Yeah. But they have like their hats look like belt buckles.
Yeah.
Like,
kind of,
like
yeah.
looped on top
Yeah,
of each other.
yeah.
I don't know what the what the
What
high priest.
technology is making this in like
Well,
God.
You don't think they could have did that? A puffy hat. Look at the Ottomans. Look up a sultan. Look up an Ottoman
yeah.
sultan.
Those were the
Look up
size of a
Mehmed the
TV.
Second.
Yeah.
Mehmet the Second?
Mehmed
the
the
size
Second
of a TV.
Or Osman.
Donnie?
You could fit 8 children in their hats.
I mean, that's
8
just
infants.
that's
He's got a big onion on
Oh,
his
hell
head.
yeah, but that doesn't defy gravity. These belt buckles defy gravity, and they're doing this in like
Well, yeah, the
one
high
B-
priestess
one
has like a cloth
AD.
that doesn't fall. It was amazing.
I just don't know how you're doing these hats
Mm.
like today,
Yeah.
let alone that.
Yeah.
It's a fine looking hat.
Well, Brian, you just discovered your life's purpose. You need to figure this out.
But yeah, they take her to the temple, and the prophetess Anna steps in on her behalf. Which, yeah, that's
in the Bible.
That's in the Bible. There was a prophetess. She's the one letting everybody know the Messiah is coming. So yeah, the old lady belongs. It's good.
Mhm.
This is good stuff.
Yep.
She made Mary put her hand in the pain box.
Yes,
Right.
that's right.
Spice melange. Spice melange. Yeah.
Do you feel pain? If you move, you're no better than an animal. Mary's just calm.
There's a nice little.
What was
montage.
that thing called? The pin. It has a name.
Pain box, right?
Because they changed it in the new movie,
I don't know.
and I like it better in the original.
Get him.
Get him that big of a dude.
Oh,
fan?
he's expert. He's read the book like 30 times.
So in the David Lynch movie,
yeah.
when he encounters her again, the Bene Gesserit woman,
Mhm.
he like screams at her, and he's like, "You're a bitch. I remember you," or whatever it's called. And he's like, "I'm better than you. I'm stronger than you because I'm a dude." And then they took that out of the new movie.
Dune pain box.
Not the pain box, the pin, the needle thing she holds to his
Okay.
neck. You know what I'm talking about?
I know the pin. It's
Yeah, yeah.
it's like poison.
Jamba.
Jamba Juice. I love a good Jamba Juice.
Let's get him the one time.
The
you
one
need it.
time we need to
I
get
think
him.
he's talking to someone.
Yeah, he's being a fucking.
A Jam Jabbar.
Yeah, I remember your
John
Jam
Jabbar.
Jabbar.
John Jabbar.
Good movie.
So Mary, we get a nice little montage of growing up.
And
right?
I thought when they had her in the temple
Mhm.
as like a young age, I was like, are they going to do like a Hogwarts thing with her in the temple?
Oh my
almost?
god, can you imagine?
Like young Mary in the temple. I thought that's what it might
We're
be.
gonna watch her go on adventures.
Oh,
Not adventures, but I thought it was going to be like little stories of her in
Right.
the temple.
Uh-huh.
And
Stopping
the
a
movie would
troll.
end before the birth of like Like we wouldn't see the birth of Jesus at all.
Holy
It would
shit.
be like young Mary.
Troll in the dungeon.
And when the devil showed up,
Can you imagine a worse thing?
I thought that's what the movie was going to be. Like the movie was going to be about her like fighting temptation from Satan, and that was going to be the movie.
Did you watch the trailer?
I saw it when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And that was it.
Yeah, I watched it like when I remember the trailer came out, I watched it and I was like, I don't know about this. And like I watched Catholic Twitter blow up and be like, fuck this.
Angry.
But in the end, I think that those reactions were overblown.
A little bit.
However, it is clearly not to be taken seriously.
Yeah.
Look, this isn't going to replace
Yeah,
your
right.
Sunday service.
Exactly.
You know?
But it should have. That's the problem. It should have.
But hasn't that been done in movies?
I mean,
before?
Not enough.
It's the Passion of the Christ. Passion of the Christ is
Yeah.
like the movie
Yeah.
for Catholics.
Well, that we have to do one day.
I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I'd like to watch that again.
I have a lot of information about the making of that movie that is shocking. Literally and figuratively.
Ooh. Lightning?
He got struck by lightning.
Mel?
No.
Oh, Jim Caviezel?
While making the film. Not even kidding. He got hit by lightning and died.
Whoa.
Yeah, look it up.
And
He
it
had,
was
he had open
resurrected?
heart surgery.
He defeated death.
Speed
Yeah.
tough, yeah. JC. That's his initials. How old was he made that movie? 33.
Whoa.
I'm sorry. What? Like how much do you have to rap on the door before you open it?
What if God's at your door and you leave him standing in the cold?
What if God was one of us?
Just a slob.
Well,
like
we see
one of
a
us.
nice little a thing here. Mary's giving food to beggars.
Yes.
One looks like a tan Dennis Quaid. Did you
I-
pick that up?
I thought that
picked that
dude
up,
was
right?
Dennis Quaid because he's in all those like Christian
yeah,
movies.
that's what
I
you
was,
said,
I was
yeah.
like,
Is
is
that
that Dennis Quaid? I thought the same exact.
Do you realize
thing.
we've been like a religious show for the last month?
I have realized
Tis the season.
if we're gonna
I
do
don't know
it,
how this happened.
if we're gonna do it, I guess December is the time. You know,
Yeah.
January, no religion.
yeah,
guys.
we gotta
Well, now we'll probably
take a
do
left
like a
turn.
New Year thing, you know?
New year, new me.
New Year, new us.
We're gonna just be blasphemous.
And this is kind of
New Year's resolution 2025.
be blasphemous. This is where I got worried, just like you did, because Lucifer comes and tries to rape her. Well, not
Yeah.
rape her, but like convince her to have sex.
But this is what I liked about all that.
I got worried
This is
like
the best
he
stuff
did.
in the
Yeah.
movie.
I got worried like he did, where it was like, oh no, it's gonna be a lot of this.
He can't touch her
Yeah.
Yes,
you notice that?
I like that.
Yeah.
because she is the new Eve. She is the Ark of the Covenant. He's incapable of
Mhm.
actually.
He can
do-
only
he can only
influence
tempt. Yes.
and influence others.
Right.
Mhm.
Even that scene where she has the dream where he's carrying her away, she's actually floating above
Yes,
his arms.
I like that detail.
Yeah, it was cool. I
He
liked
can't
it.
touch her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, none of that is in the Bible anywhere.
Yeah.
No,
That's
no, this is
artistic
all-
Yes,
interpretation.
and it's clearly Passion of the Christ shit because
Mhm.
that's how the devil was portrayed in that movie.
Oh, he's in the movie?
Yeah.
I never saw it.
Yeah. He's like a fucking weird creature.
It's
And
like a worm tongue.
the devil in this movie is the actor playing him is
He's an Australian
Ra-
guy. Right?
Eamon Farron.
it's Audrey and Evil Cooper's son from Twin Peaks: The Return. Horn. Ben not Ben. Horn.
Wow.
Rob Horn, I think they called him. Yeah. So
Okay.
and he's a real piece of shit in that.
Oh, yeah?
This guy
yeah.
apparently
Oh,
only
yeah.
plays like evil guys.
Typecast.
He looks evil.
He's
Yeah,
a
he does.
scary guy.
He's
Yeah.
typecast.
I liked his devil, though. And I
do
like
too.
I like Gabriel shows up and he's like, hey,
He's like, shut the
get
fuck
the
up.
fuck
Yeah.
it's a little cartoonish, but
a little.
For this,
you
it
know what?
works.
Yeah. If Gabriel's got to show up to yell at Lucifer,
Hey, you.
enough of your shit. Been dealing with you for 1,000 years.
how many times do we have to teach you this lesson? Meh.
I'm gonna come back even more.
Wait till I show up in the desert in a couple of years and get bitched out again.
Gabriel's just trying to relax in heaven, the best place, and he has to just keep coming back.
Then Clarence is up there. Gabriel. How come all the angels and such aren't like Southern gentlemen in this? 'Cause we all know from It's a Wonderful Life that's how they should be.
Well, you got to remember, because Gabriel.
Oh, boy, he's at it again.
Well, Clarence becomes an angel.
Yes.
So he
Oh,
was
I'm talking
born-
about like Joseph in it. Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Joseph.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Clarence is born like the 1800s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Joseph's like Texan.
So we have
God's American. We all know that.
Yeah, that's when it happened. That's when it started. 1776. Herod starts praising Caesar Augustus and raises that flag,
The symbol.
that
The Roman
symbol,
eagle.
the Roman eagle.
Is that called the SPQ?
The SPQR
No,
is the Senate and People of Rome.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's
This
that
is-
thing called? It looks familiar. It looks like that.
the eagle.
It's
Yeah.
the Roman eagle.
Right.
You know?
But they raise it above the temple, and that's the problem. If they just put it somewhere else,
Well, I think they would have a problem with it anywhere. They especially have a problem with it there.
It was made
Yeah.
to piss people
If you want to
off.
piss off a populace,
That's how you do it.
the thing to do is to deface their like religious symbols.
But also Rome's intention in doing that is to show who is in charge.
Oh, they are. Yeah. No, that's obviously what Rome's
Yeah.
going to do. But if you want to
Yes.
piss off a population, it's
Mhm.
the quickest way to
Oh,
do
yeah.
that.
Absolutely. This
And,
is what started the Maccabee shit.
Yeah.
And now we got a really cool, violent scene. So Herod pulls out the high priest. And it's like, you're the one who's trying to stop me from putting my eagle up, huh?
And this reminded me of the scene in the Old Testament,
Yeah.
actually.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
He takes the crown of spikes, not thorns, but like
Yeah.
spikes, and just pushes it into his head and
Mhm.
blinds him. And it's like, holy crap, this is violent.
You didn't like Anthony Hopkins, yeah?
He was fine there. I think it's
was
later
great.
on when he's just soliloquying. I didn't buy it.
You started thinking this is an actor acting.
It just didn't
Yeah.
feel like Herod. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, I got you.
Who would you have picked?
he's a good like.
I mean, if
I think it's
if
more
they
the-
didn't have him.
Look, I think it's honestly more the director probably who let him down, because I don't think anyone in here is bad, but I don't think anyone in here is great either. Everything just feels serviceable
Yeah, I
and
agree.
it doesn't feel elevated.
I agree.
So I don't know if there's an actor you could cast that would have done.
I
The
like
best actor-
Joseph.
I like him too.
Everybody's fine.
The best actor is Gabriel, realistically.
Gabriel's fine just because he looks weird.
His
He doesn't do
his
much.
character
doesn't have to do
is
much,
just
yeah.
be ominous.
Like
Yeah.
Lucifer. Like
Yeah.
Lucifer, it's
Lucifer's
the same
good.
thing as Lucifer. It's like no one's bad,
Yeah.
no one's great. I'm not gonna remember any performance in this. You know, like
Yeah.
so. I think it's more a director thing. Like this was directed by DJ Caruso.
DJ?
He does turntable shit.
Yeah, he's
That's-
fucking
that's what I-
scratching all day.
So I've seen.
because of course it's in our world it's perpetually 1986 and people are still scratching records. That's what DJs do.
So I've seen a couple of these movies, but I feel like this is a guy who's in movie jail.
Oh yeah,
Is he?
So like
that's why he's working with Joel Osteen.
his first movie is like The Salton Sea, which was like a weird indie with Val Kilmer. He did Disturbia, which
The Rihanna song.
The Rihanna song. Yeah. This, that.
Disturbia. But they did the Shia LaBeouf movie. It's like a ripoff of Rear Window.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
And then he did Eagle Eye. He did I Am Number 4. And
who was
then
number one,
I don't know what it is.
we need information.
the nude number 2. You are number 6.
But he did like a Triple X sequel with
Oh,
like,
God.
yeah, and like his last movie before this was Shut In, which was a direct to streaming movie on the Daily Wire.
Oh boy.
So it's like he had done like a bunch of real things, and then he's doing a Daily Wire movie, and now this. Like at least people see this one, the Daily Wire movie. No one will ever see it.
Did people like that Matt Walsh weird?
The
What is a
documentary.
woman?
What
Did
is a
people
Woman?
like that?
I think people that are going to agree with it like
Yeah,
it, and people that are not going to agree with it.
Did you
didn't
see
like
it?
I saw it.
You did. What did you think?
Do you want my unbiased take on it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Not funny.
I am racist. I have like 30 minutes left. I have to finish it.
Me too.
My unbiased take is that it was a well-made documentary that isn't going to sway anyone who doesn't
He
agree
doesn't
with.
already. Yeah.
So it's like
Well, to not agree with either way, you're a zealot.
what I feel like.
on this issue.
What I feel like What I feel like Matt Walsh
Walsh.
wants to be, and this is why I said Michael Moore, he wants to be the right-wing answer to Michael Moore.
Yeah.
Because there's some funny stuff. It's like well done. It is
a documentary. It's not like Borat or something. Because that's what it kind of looked like on the trailer.
Well, no. What is a Woman is more a traditional documentary where he's doing interviews, like, and there's some funny moments, but it's mostly like it's more straight-laced. I Am Racist is way more comedic Michael Moore style Borat, where like he decides that one point he's going to become a DEI expert.
That's what I saw in the trailer.
It's not the entire thing. I don't think he becomes that until like maybe like 45 or 30 minutes. And then he's going and like doing interviews and kind of like busting people's balls and stuff. And like he has this big dinner of all these DEI experts, and he is like a waiter at the event. And they're all talking about how they shouldn't have white men in the space, and he keeps interrupting them as he's serving them food.
That's funny.
And it's funny. And then at one point, he just sits down and starts talking with them, and you can see everybody getting annoyed. It's ball busting shit. It's funny.
Yeah.
I didn't finish it, so I can't give my complete thoughts, but it has some genuinely funny stuff.
Sorry, I'm being disrupted.
No. He wants to be the right wing's Michael Moore, where it's like they're documentaries, but they're also funny and entertaining.
I had to take away his toy.
And if you're like, What is a Woman? Just looking at it objectively, devoid of all politics.
Not possible.
Yeah,
No, just like looking at the quality of filmmaking and like how it's done and all that. It's just like an okay documentary.
Right.
That's it. So,
what about like? Didn't they make like Western?
they've done a whole bunch. I haven't seen any of them, so I can't say. You know, the documentary ones just seem like a bigger deal, so they're kind of almost.
That's probably a better way to go for that.
It's almost more effort to go watch it, you know. But this guy, so he has a Daily Wire movie that no one's going to see, and at least people can see this one. You know,
it's got a wide release on Netflix.
Yeah,
everybody's got Netflix.
Yeah. People spoke about it.
I don't kick up some controversy.
In a good way, but they spoke about it.
And I don't think, again, I don't think anything he did here is with malicious intent.
I don't either. I just think
I think he's a guy who's trying to tell a story and make the movie interesting.
Yeah, I also think it had an effect of Hollywood, but that we'll see in a second.
All right, so where are we, Steve?
Well, Mary stares at Herod after he blinds this priest, and Herod is like terrified and sees the crucifixion in her eyes, and like,
yes,
you're not apparently supposed to look away, and they're all telling Mary like, look away, and she's like, nope, I'm just gonna stare, and it's just a weird, cool scene. But then that puts her on the captain's radar, like, you messed with the king, you're a witch, I'm hunting you.
Yeah, none of this is biblical.
Yeah. No clue where this came from. It was very confusing.
I feel like this is a director who's like, I need some sort of...
I need action.
I need some sort of elevated stake.
Hollywood. I need Hollywood.
Well, that's why he threw in the Lucifer and shit.
Battles,
you know?
and shit coming that, like, what?
Yeah, very, very confusing. There's a resistance forming against the Romans. So you have Joseph, who was at like a...
He's in like a mason, like he's found like a quarry. He is a carpenter. He should be working with wood, not stone.
Yeah,
Joseph.
Yeah. But
well, he's working with Mr. Slate.
Yeah,
yeah.
Right. He slides down the brontosaurus.
And can I ask a question? Is his last name Christ?
No.
What?
Is Mary's last name Christ?
Christ is not a.
They didn't have last names.
It's not like a surname?
No, it's like King of the Universe, the Christ.
Yeah, they don't have last around this time.
I honestly thought that was his last name.
You really
like
don't
Davy
have last
Jones.
Names. They don't, like, women don't have last names.
Yeah, there's last names. Judah Ben-Hur.
Yeah.
There are last names. I honestly thought his last
I don't know the
Christ.
naming convention, I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
I can't explain it to you. I know the Romans were bigger on that than probably the Hebrews were.
Okay.
Like is Jesus of Nazareth, you know,
yeah.
known by where you come from.
Right.
You know.
That's what I meant. Like, you really didn't have, there wasn't a lot of last names around this time. Like, and women would have, like, some of them in specific cultures, they wouldn't even have a first name. They would take on a variation of the husband's name.
Right.
You have a last name there.
Do I? Do I?
Like, she might be called like Mary, daughter of Joaquin.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What I love, there's a great It's not great, but I think it's a good Robin Williams joke where he talks about the Bible, and he's like, around this time, you start to get all the names that become consistent. You know, he's like before this, you have like Nebuchadnezzar and like all this shit, and he's like, then suddenly you get like Mary, Joseph, Billy Bob, like stepbrother of Jesus, like all this shit. It's like the names do become very like modern, yeah.
Well,
at this point,
because modern names come from
I
this.
know,
Yeah.
Right.
All right, you have your toy back. Just play with it underneath the table.
Okay. Thank you.
it's Christmas.
I was legit testing it under the table to see if I heard it in the mic, and I'm like, all right, I don't think I do. He's good.
But you do hear him go as he's playing with the car. A fucking retard.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So Joseph sees Gabriel.
Yeah.
He's hunting or like
Fishing.
He's doing something with a rock, and Gabriel's like, "Yo, hunting's better around the corner." You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. He plays matchmaker.
And I'm sitting there like, "What? What
Come
is
this way.
happening?"
Go around
He's
this
the
way.
fiddler on the roof. Matchmaker, make me a match.
And that's when Joseph sees Mary and falls in love with her instantly.
This is when my uncle turned it off.
Oh yeah.
With the shawl, the shawl flies into the
He was
river.
like, they didn't have a meet cute like this.
Yeah, there wasn't courtship.
This like bothered him on like a
It
personal
should,
level.
because the nature of their relationship is not a sexual or romantic one.
Mhm.
It is one of two people completely dedicated to God. They understood their roles, both of them. It's not like they made it like young love type shit, which
Yeah.
it should not have been. And if you're a devout person, that is something that would bother you, because now it's like he's gonna get mad because Joseph's whole thing is that he's like the most just guy ever, and
He's the dad who stepped up.
He's the dad who stepped up. Exactly. He's there to be.
He's like Kurt Warner.
He's there to be the father of the living God. He's like Kurt Warner. That's right. Joseph would walk through the blizzard.
Yeah.
That's right. He would throw the bread.
Have a nice cat.
Yeah. He would. If Jesus wanted to fucking close his eyes and ride a lawnmower, Joe would be right there with him. You know?
But none of the grass gets mowed because the lawnmower is 6 feet above the ground. So it's just
Yeah. Right.
it's
They have a
stubborn.
tiny front yard
Yeah.
and a riding mower. That movie wasn't great, was it? New listeners, you're not going to get what the fuck we're talking about.
Sorry.
But if you're a vet, enjoy that one.
But yeah, so Joseph is a guy who stepped up. So look,
Yeah. I mean, more than stepped up.
my
I would say that's an understatement.
just from an outsider's perspective, my interpretation of their relationship has always been there were two people in love
They're not.
that
There's love there, but it's more of on like a spiritual level.
and I didn't know that she was supposedly always remained a virgin. I assumed after the birth of Jesus.
Well, because you take all of your religious knowledge from the movie Dogma.
I take some of it. Yeah. I mean, I don't hold that as canon, but to me, I was like, okay, yeah, that could make sense.
Right.
Look, I don't believe any of this stuff, so
Right.
I'm just going by that's what I thought.
Chris Rock, yeah.
Yeah, Chris Rock, the 13th apostle. Ruth
That
Chris.
is
A perfect exposition, really.
one of the worst exposition scenes in anything ever. Is when he falls out of the sky and just dumps exposition for like 5 minutes straight.
It's up there with uninvited guests.
It's up there with. I'm gonna say it's my number 2. When I think of bad exposition in movies, it's my number 2.
What's
What's number one?
Star Wars: The Force Awakens,
Oh, okay,
Ah.
yeah.
with Leia and Han
Yeah.
talking to each other.
Remember our son?
Remember our son who was training to be a Jedi and
Went bad.
Yeah.
Then we lost him. And so let's get to the next bothersome thing for the religious people here.
Yeah.
What did
Priestess.
I'm just curious. What did your uncle say about that?
About
Well, he wanted to turn it off.
He did turn it off.
he turned it off there. He
Yeah.
didn't finish the movie.
He didn't say why though.
He said that apparently, supposedly, and I could be bastardizing what he's saying because he's just like he just
He was
was
rattling off
He was
shit.
just speaking for like,
Yeah.
15 minutes. And I'm just like trying to take everything in.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really much of a conversation. It was him just like,
Ranting.
yeah. He actually had just got done like, I don't want to call it hosting, but he was preaching or, whatever.
Mhm. He's doing a sermon.
He did a sermon. Yeah.
So he was in holy mode.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
after that, he was like on the phone with me in the car.
He probably talked about the movie in his sermon.
He probably got angry.
Yeah.
You see this shit?
But so we were talking and he was like, I don't want to say the wrong thing and like categorize him the wrong way, but I believe he said that Joseph first saw Mary in a vision that was given to him that led him to her. I might be wrong, but
I don't know, but that sounds
That sounds way more accurate.
All of
than
these people would have been
infatuation.
being contacted by angels and whatnot. And
Yeah.
having, like visions and dreams. And
Yeah.
There's a lot of spooky stuff happening around this time.
Yeah. Well, when you're having the
when God is being born. Yeah, I
the
imagine
human version of
there may be
God.
some auguries.
the fates are active.
Yeah.
I can tell you what didn't happen though. When Mary finds out she might have to spend 47 years in a temple, she didn't say that's adult life. I don't want to serve God.
Yeah. The doubting of Mary.
And then the priestess was like, it's over a boy, isn't it? What?
Yeah,
What is happening?
This is bad for the religious folks.
What-
We can't have Mary being like
Infatuated with the boy.
Yeah, and not completely dedicated to the service of God.
Well, I don't think it was about the boy. I didn't take it that way. I took it as Mary felt like she could do more good outside of the temple. I did not take it like it was because of Joseph.
It was because she saw a boy and was like, "Oh, I can be with a boy." That's
No.
exactly what it was.
No, because she immediately denies Satan shortly after that.
Yeah, I think Brian's right. I don't think the
The
I
priestess
think
literally said it.
the
This is over a boy, isn't
Yes.
it? And you know
But-
she's right.
No, she's not right. I don't believe she was right.
I think you could interpret it either way. and be
Mary is
correct.
literally saying service to God is adult life.
No, I felt like I interpreted it that she felt like she could do more good outside of the temple. And like be more proactive helping people, because we see her leave the temple earlier in the movie
And give food, yeah.
and give food,
That's one
and
aspect.
she gets in trouble for it.
Yeah.
But
So-
she also runs into a boy who wants to get with her and is like, kind of like, oh, I'm going to run away now. And then she's looking out the window like, oh, I could leave. And she says, oh, how long have you been here? 47 years. And she's like, oh, like, isn't that like dull?
I really didn't take it as it
And
was
the
a boy
priestess was
thing.
like, 47 years in service to God. How is that dull?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're saying that was going through Mary's mind. That's what they're saying.
They are. But is it the question is it she's bored or is it she's in love with Joseph? Either way,
it
is
doesn't work.
blasphemous.
Yeah, either way, it doesn't work. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not something I didn't get worked up about it.
You weren't angry. You
No.
weren't raging.
No.
Because it's
The,
something.
the only thing that truly like pissed me off was what I said in the beginning.
Yeah.
You know.
This wasn't a pissed off thing, but this is a problem. That's
Yeah.
all. Like, if you're gonna
Yeah.
make this movie, don't do that.
Right.
You know, it's just not.
Well,
it's not
they
right.
want to give her somewhat of a character.
Well, they
Yeah.
want to make her human.
Yes.
Well, would you want to do that in your movie? You know what I mean?
I feel like a lot of this was taking the miraculousness of the events and dumbing them down or lessening them for the sake of relatability.
They're making
Yeah.
them accessible to people.
Women
yes.
love watching a good pregnancy scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if, Jesus isn't, that's why she has a normal birth.
It's shorthand. Everybody understands.
Yes.
Yeah, but you don't. That doesn't mean you do it.
Look, I think the best movie ever about religion is Ben-Hur.
Mhm.
And the reason why is because you follow the regular life of this
Of a
dude,
man
and
who comes in.
it intersects
contact with
with the
God.
divine
Yes.
several times.
Yes.
And that's why
And
it's
they're
so
the
great.
most memorable and beautiful scenes in the movie too.
It's the best stuff. Even
Yeah.
though Beaver raged about the ending the first time we saw it.
Did he?
Y'all remember? That was where So Dark came from. Because he was mad about the lepers.
He didn't like
being
the
killed.
happy ending.
Yeah, I didn't.
And we were mocking
I wanted
him.
a sadder ending.
Yeah,
yes.
he wanted depressing.
It's like, don't do that.
healing rain.
Yeah.
But so I understand from a filmmaker perspective, you need a way in for your audience to project empathy and see themselves in these characters, right? So
That's
he's
not what it's about.
Yeah. Modern audience does not like the idea of a hierarchy.
Yes.
That we're literally talking about the king of the universe. He is better than you.
Yeah.
He's not human.
In every
He's
aspect.
not relatable.
Yes.
He's better than you.
You cannot.
And it's
no,
very
he's
it's
the most
very
relatable thing you ever will encounter.
Right.
Because he's that much better.
Right.
He's the most relatable ever.
But Americans like to bring down anyone who they see as above them.
Right.
So when a movie like this comes out, it's like, he's just like me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no.
Oh, Jesus was born just like me.
We're talking about a king. We're not talking about the president. We're talking about a king. He is superior to you.
Far superior than any king you could even imagine. King is probably the wrong word. That's just the human word we use for it. That's the issue here. And if you believe in this even remotely, this is a huge problem. Yeah. Yes.
I'm looking at it from the filmmaker perspective and what the guy's trying to do. And he's trying to have some sort of path where the audience can have a character to emphasize with. So by giving her a want and desire of adventure and a desire to go out and help more people or do whatever, it's a path for your audience to latch on to someone. Ben-Hur works because you emphasize with Judah Ben-Hur.
But that's
where whatever, you know what I mean. You need
that's where the problem really is that he said he's Catholic or Christian.
He's a Catholic,
but he's taking the story, putting blasphemy to it, and having people follow it and believe in it, opposite to what you're supposed to believe. Like, you're saying that Jesus is human, and
he is human,
and
yes.
no, well, he's God.
He's God, and
he's human. But you're saying these are the qualities
he
of
dealt with
man,
temptation and things like that. Yeah, and he overcame them. That's the whole story.
Yes.
But you're saying these like.
But Jesus isn't even
right.
involved in this. What I'm talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
I was mainly talking about the birth thing.
Yeah, you're talking about the birth thing. I'm talking about the characterization of Mary as
it's the most holy, perfect person.
Yeah.
And you're saying that they're no better than you, and it's like no, that's not no.
She's full of grace.
She like Elaine. She has grace. He said, "I have grace."
Like, don't take that out and then make that a story that millions of people will see, and then say that you're, a believer or follower.
Look, it's not my religion.
You might be damning your soul to hell because of this. What are you doing?
It's not my religion. I think
anyone watching this and thinking they're seeing something, I don't think it's a dangerous movie per se.
No.
I hope, ideally speaking, just as a Christian, maybe this leads someone to explore, the true faith,
Maybe
it's an entry point.
Right. But yeah, you're just not seeing the real story here. You're just not. And there's problems with that, and we're here to talk about them, right?
Yeah. And I am.
Yeah.
So Joseph goes to the house and it's like, I want to marry your daughter. And they're like, who are you? And he's like, I'm marrying your daughter. I'm her new husband. And they're just like, well,
you're right.
Yeah, you're right. He's like, I saw Gabriel, and they're like, okay,
that's all you need to say.
Yeah. Gabriel sent you? That's all you had to say.
Can you imagine?
Shit, you sending the wolf?
Can you imagine? The guy in blue wasn't Gabriel. He was just another fisherman. And they just, whoops.
Another guy. Well, blue has to be a very rare color.
I would assume so.
Right?
Yeah. It seems nobody's wearing blue.
Yeah.
I know this is weird that I know this.
The human eye couldn't see blue?
No. There's like a certain shellfish that grew that like lives in the Mediterranean, in that part of the Mediterranean, that the Phoenicians used to harvest and make dye out of. It's called royal. They would make a color called royal purple. So you can look that up. And that was like one of the hottest commodities in the ancient world.
Well, that's why royalty wore purple.
Yeah.
Because it was so expensive.
Tyrian purple.
From
Tyrian purple.
Yeah.
Several types of murex mollusks.
Yeah.
in the Mediterranean area. This rare and peculiar coloring matter is produced in the hypobrachynial, sorry, hold on. It's produced in the hypobranchial gland of these shellfish.
There we go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Come on, you gotta.
I'll
it's
give it to
worth
you. That's a
doing.
hard word, and you got it.
I can't believe I just pulled ancient tire dyes out of my ass.
Next scene. She's like, all right, we're getting married. We're engaged. Mary is praying and is once again doubtful of God's plan. Like, this is who you gave me, Joseph? Yeah. Come on, man.
Well, this leads to the conception, this moment.
Well, Gabriel's there and is like, don't worry. You are blessed among women. You will name him Jesus. They show the tattoos on his hands. I wrote it. And I
say, laugh now.
Look, angels don't gotta follow Leviticus.
It said fuck you on his knuckles.
Ozzy.
Bum fights.
Yeah, that's what angels have. Nordic symbols.
Bum fight. Jerry, hello.
Needless to say, it upset me. But once again, she's doubtful, and to me you're destroying
Yeah.
her.
Yeah. Well, how many times are we gonna say the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
Yeah, I know. But Herod taxes the people. They start rebelling.
Yes.
Which
You know,
that's real, right?
chaos is
Oh
happening.
yeah. Oh yeah. Taxes were out of control. You were rendering unto Caesar just a little too much.
Mary gets booted out of the temple for being
Rendering
pregnant.
unto Caesar.
Which
Unto
isn't that-
Caesar.
Isn't that slightly confusing?
What's that?
They took her in assuming that she was going to give birth to God.
Yeah.
She gets pregnant. They kick her out because she's now pregnant with God.
Well, that's the thing. She wasn't kicked out. She left. Like
In the movie.
Yeah. Oh, in the movie.
In the movie, they say
yeah.
you have to leave.
Right.
It's a weird thing in the movie.
Yeah. And it's like
Makes no sense.
Yeah. She has a vow of chastity.
Yeah.
And she's getting married. It's weird.
From what my uncle, from my conversation with my uncle, because I
Mhm.
asked him about living in the temple,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I guess according to his faith,
Mhm.
which is different than you guys,
There's no word of that.
he said that there was no word of her living in the temple like
Mhm.
that.
Okay.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah. All right.
Who fucking knows?
Don't know.
These are 1,000-year-old texts that
I'm
people
not a
are
theologian.
reading now.
Me neither.
I'm an amateur at best.
Yeah.
And I'm just yelling in his
We
favor.
should have had
Mhm.
Father Lance on.
That would have been
we,
smart.
Yeah, we probably messed up.
I like talking to him.
Father Lance, I
Yeah,
know you
okay.
did.
He was
Yeah,
good.
he's a good guy.
Even though, he's an Orthodox, you can put that aside.
Yes, his Eastern leanings. He's swarthy.
So she goes home, but they're like, you can't stay here. You got to go to your aunt's house in Karem. Is that how you pronounce it? Einkerem. In Karem.
Sure.
So it's like
Yeah.
a safe place for her to stay with her aunt,
Yes.
who's also pregnant. So it's like,
Giving birth to John the Baptist.
Now, this was actually in today's gospel reading at church.
Really?
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
This story?
Well, when she goes to visit her aunt, yeah,
Ah.
who is yes, the mother of John the Baptist. And in the gospel read, it was funny because I knew we were going to be talking
Yeah.
about this today, and it's like, oh, okay, well that makes sense.
What a
Well, we're
coincidence.
timely.
Christmas is
what
yeah.
a coincidence.
And in the gospel, it said that that the baby in her womb in
Mary or
in Elizabeth
Okay.
recognized immediately that he was in the presence of God and jumped for joy in her womb
Yes.
and spoke through his mother. And
Like a puppet?
No, not the baby, but the Holy Spirit spoke through
Okay,
her
okay.
and was like,
a
blessed
puppet.
art thou among women, all this stuff.
Yeah.
That's where that line comes
Okay.
from. Yeah. But yeah, the Holy Spirit right there
Yeah.
right there in the biz.
She says it in the
She says
movie
it,
too.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, the baby recognizes.
Blessed are you among
Yes.
women. Yeah.
Yes.
They love throwing the prayers in here, which is nice. I get,
Well, the prayers come from the scriptures.
it's
Yeah.
nice.
You know?
Well, at least they did it.
Yeah.
Like they could have not. At the same time, Herod is having visions of Mary, of the ghosts of people he killed. So, are they saying that he was a little like schizophrenic and on his way out, or having dementia
No,
at this
it's
point?
God, like almost.
Like frightening him
It's
Yeah.
either that or it's Lucifer trying to get him
to be insane.
to be insane to go after Jesus.
Is Lucifer there? I don't
No,
remember from the
it's-
movie.
he's just seeing
Lucifer
people.
never interacts
With Herod?
with Herod. He only interacts with Mary
Yeah.
and Gabriel and Joseph, kind of, if you count
In
the dream.
yeah.
But it
And I like the image of him, of Joseph stabbing him through the back.
I saw
Always
that. I was
fun.
like, it's
Always
kind of a
fun.
risky thing as he's holding.
Yeah. Yeah. Goes right through his chest.
Yeah.
Pregnant wife.
It is just- But I like the imagery of him being the
Yeah.
protector who's there to fucking
Right.
Yeah.
take
The
care
dad
of
who stepped
business.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
it's
the
a
dad
dream.
who stepped up.
Mary having violent dreams. That's always fun.
But no, I honestly took it like he's getting either visions of God, like
Mm.
you're being an asshole,
Right.
or it's Lucifer giving him visions like you got to get this.
You got to
fucking-
murder children.
Yeah,
See,
like we
yeah.
got to get the Nazarene, dude.
Yeah.
Cursed Nazarene,
Oh man.
I will avenge.
we got a fun story about that. Yeah. I went to see The Omen with Brian once.
Me too.
Yeah, you did?
I saw the remake with Brian.
Really?
Brian and I saw the Omen remake from like 2008 together in
Yeah.
the theater.
I saw it with
I
him
saw the
first.
Omega-
I
Yeah.
saw it with you.
Yeah. Well, I think the three of us actually watched it
I
together.
have no memory of.
I think we were
Yeah.
together. Yeah. And I was
The
sitting-
original is better, but it wasn't a bad remake.
It's the one with the photographs. Like they do like almost Final Destination, where the photographs are predicting people's deaths
No.
in the Omen
Yes.
remake.
Yes, you're right.
Is
Yeah,
it?
Yes.
I don't remember that.
It's the spear that goes through the priest.
yeah.
Yeah, he's
I
right.
remember that.
So
The
Iced
Omen
Earth.
remake was 2006.
Brian
That
did not
long.
know Iced Earth this time. He
Wow.
knew a couple of songs, but not a lot.
What a sad life you were living.
I knew like Frankenstein.
He knew like some stuff.
and I knew
And-
something wicked.
And I've never seen The Omen before,
Uh-huh.
but I knew the song.
Yeah.
So in the movie theater,
When the
as he starts
Jews
saying, "When the
return
Jews
to
return to Zion,"
Zion.
I start
You sang
quoting-
along?
I start quoting it to him. I go, "And when the comet fills the sky," they say in the movie, he goes, "What the fuck, man? He's like, how do you know this?"
And you
You and I must die.
We cannot make that the song of the episode. Not for Mary.
Mary, did you know is the song of the episode. Or Beaver's Oh Holy Night. One of the two.
My
That's
Oh
it,
Holy
that's
Night.
it,
Yes,
that's
that's
the
the one. That's the one. That hits. All right. Workers make fun of Joe.
They call him a
Yeah.
cuck.
They call him a cuck. Everyone knows. The whole city knows.
And there's no way anyone who's ever thought about this event has ever, like, as a guy, I think you immediately put yourself in Joseph's shoes and go, guys have got to be saying that.
Of
Oh,
course.
yeah. Oh,
It-
yeah.
it-
So
There's it's
it-
not documented, but this
You're right.
had to have
It
fucking
had to have
happened.
happened. I'm sure it
course.
did.
If one of your boys,
Yeah.
if one of your boys was engaged
Uh-huh.
and he was saving himself
Yeah.
and he came and told you
My wife
this,
is pregnant.
yeah,
Somebody
it's
slept
not
with your
me.
wife.
Yeah.
It's the son. It's the
It's
Son
the
of
son of
God.
God.
You'd be like,
you
what?
would look at them and be like,
Whatever you got to tell yourself, bro.
yeah, you would think he's fucking nuts.
Yeah. It must have taken an insane amount of fortitude to do what he did.
Here's the thing. He gets into a fight.
Yeah.
He assaults
He gets
someone.
hit with a
Beginning
rock.
of many fights he will have for the rest
Yeah.
of the film.
He assaults someone who's making fun of him.
Yeah.
I get it.
I get it.
I get it from this perspective. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's Joseph. Like
I know. It's the Holy Family, and they're engaged.
he's
in-
brawling and he gets knocked out.
yeah.
He gets hit with a rock.
And then apparently, like, the entire city is in such an uproar about her being pregnant that they, like, want to stone her to death. And they're
Yeah.
like, this is not from the Bible.
Yeah.
None of this is in the Bible.
Yeah.
However, what he's doing is taking the historical context and the historical
and throwing
threat,
some action in.
and the historical threat, because
Mm-hmm.
if a woman was pregnant out of
Adulterous.
wedlock,
Yeah.
you would be pelted with stones, because that's almost the form of entertainment at the time,
Yeah.
Sure.
you know?
Yeah.
Sure.
like a public hanging.
Like a bunch of women dressing up with fake beards.
Yeah.
Another thing that doesn't fit this is the next part where Joaquin sees Mary is pregnant and is pissed off, even though she's like, this wasn't
This is
touched.
God.
This is God.
Yeah.
And he was like, nah. But he experienced the miracle, was visited by angels
Yeah.
and told that it would happen.
It's like, dude.
So he's angry?
Well, he
Yeah.
has to come
He
around
has to come
to
to
it.
terms with it. And he does.
How do you have to come to terms? They were
He didn't-
angels.
He did again. None of this is in the
They
Bible.
make it like she went to her aunt's house to hide from her dad.
Right.
I don't like that.
They do say that.
Yeah.
It's
Well-
like, what is happening
Well,
here?
I don't think Joaquin knew the full plan,
Mm-hmm.
that like she was going to be pregnant with the
Yeah, I guess they're all on a need to know basis. with the
exactly.
Almighty.
So
Yeah.
so I don't think he knows that part, and in his mind,
She-
it could be
yeah.
she broke
God's
the covenant with
yeah.
God.
In which case,
Maybe.
she
And-
needs to die.
Exactly. So
But when you're told she's going to be the holiest of holy, and then she's like, this is the Son of God, and you've been visited by angels, maybe
Maybe his
not.
faith wasn't as strong as hers.
Maybe.
You know? I mean,
But
look, I don't have a problem
I don't know.
with this.
I don't know, man.
he doesn't know, and he
Yeah.
has to come around.
Yeah.
He has to at least start from a place of questioning.
Yes.
He comes around pretty quickly.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
he's like, look, Gabriel came.
Well, he
and
sees Joseph step up.
that's
That
it.
too. That's where the movie Step Up comes from.
He walks in the shoes of the great Kurt Warner,
Yes.
and he steps up.
You know what though? Joseph never won a fucking Super Bowl.
That's true.
Valid
true.
point.
One thing
valid,
we cannot-
valid point.
One not
valid
we
point.
cannot attribute to the father of the church.
Did Joseph have a blind child? Does he know that struggle?
Did he have 800 yards passing in a season? That's not a lot, is it?
That would be like the worst season ever. 800 yards over 17 games.
8 touchdowns.
I think he had like a 3,000 yard season, or like 4,000. Like I think he had a record at one point. 800 yard season. That's how you know you're not a sports guy. And one year he threw 5 touchdown
Yeah,
passes.
but I can tell you about Tyree in purple.
Yeah.
Your heart was in the right place. That's all. Lucifer gathers some angry townspeople to kill Mary. Sure.
I like that.
I liked it. It was evil.
Yeah.
And I
It was
like
evil.
that he tempts Joseph.
Yeah.
And Joseph saves the day
Yes.
Well,
by
Dream.
attacking people.
well, no, right?
Oh, right. Yes. He swings like a hammer around.
Yeah.
When I started laughing when I was watching this. I was like, are they serious right now?
And then they run away and they hide, and there's people with torches like in The Mummy looking for him.
Yeah,
It was a scene from The Mummy.
it is very similar.
Yeah, you're right. Imhotep.
Imhotep. They have a wedding. Joseph's in. He's like, I don't care.
Yeah, they have the hoopah.
What's the hoopah?
You held that at my wedding.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the hoopah.
I was terrified.
I didn't know what that was called.
I was terrified at that moment, I gotta say.
I thought I was going to burn it.
There was a lot of candles around.
A lot of
You
candles.
thought about it, right?
And the
your head?
rabbi was very funny.
Yeah.
So
A
I was-
smarmy
yeah,
rabbi.
he was like, hey, we're here to celebrate. Don't drop it.
So we also had a priest.
Yeah, he wasn't as funny.
He made. I feel like
A
the
little more
rabbi
serious.
made it his mission to
To
like
show him up.
upstage the priest. He's like human showmanship. Ah, you can't beat me. Waka waka.
Ever been to the Catskills?
Like the priest was like, like not making jokes, like very like
Yeah.
more
This is
solemn.
serious, yeah.
And my guy's like, ah, let's have fun. Yeah, you and our friend Mike held the hoopah.
Yes.
Around candles that were lit.
Big candles.
And if there's one thing you need to know about Anthony,
Clumsy.
he's a little clumsy.
Can I tell you guys a story?
Yeah.
So the other day, Brian sent me a list of the best diners. It was like the 50 best diners in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And number like two or three.
It's number 2.
Number 2 on the list is literally down the block from where we are right now.
It's by Old Glory. We got to go there.
All right.
So
I love Old Glory.
my wife and I went there yesterday.
Nice.
Like, I gotta
How
check
was
this
it?
place out. It's the best fucking diner food I've ever had. It's like place was incredible.
We're in. Let's do it.
It's Broad Street Diner.
It's the one with Elvis outside.
If you're ever in
right?
town, yeah, go check this place out. It's amazing. But sat down at the counter. My wife, she had her coat sitting on the stool. It was packed, fucking packed. So we had to eat at the counter. There was no room at the inn.
You're lucky you have to go in the cave.
But I was handing her mug of coffee, and I just fucking dumped it all over her lap.
Burning hot coffee.
She has to get her coat dry cleaned.
She mad at you?
No, she wasn't.
How could you? You know what you're dealing with. You know what
It
you're dealing
all
with.
like went in her hood.
Imagine she didn't know, and then when she's leaving, she puts it on.
I would say, and I think you'll agree, we used to go to the diner together almost every night.
Page Diner at one point
7
voted best diner in New York City.
Yeah, 7 days a week.
This
We'd be
place
at
blows it away.
I'm
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I would say 7 times a week we'd go to this.
Basically.
5 times he'd spill his drink.
Just
Five
about.
out of 7.
I was on a. In fact, when I dumped the coffee yesterday, I said out loud, I was like, I was on such a good run. I hadn't done this in so long. This is
No one
really
else ever
embarrassing.
has to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody goes on a run of not spilling something.
And coffee is the worst thing to spill.
Absolutely.
It stains.
It
it's
destroys
boiling
clothes.
hot.
Yeah.
Smells.
Yep.
Smells for
Yeah, it's
days.
the smell.
It's the smell. Human beings are a disease.
Coffee
a
beans
virus.
or a virus.
Virus. I need to get out.
All right, so Mary and Joseph.
Barn was vandalized by zealots.
Yeah, who wrote like whore. and,
Whore.
like,
Yeah.
And
they killed the sheep.
yeah, there's
Mhm.
blood everywhere.
Yeah.
None of this in the Bible.
Romans go home.
Yeah, and now they have to leave because they're going to try to kill Mary.
Yeah.
At the same time, a rebellion is happening at the temple. So there's chaos all over.
Yeah. They flee to like a shack. The Roman guy that is not Roman is chasing them.
Nandor, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is important because they're fleeing. They make camp, and bandits attack them.
Yeah. Nabateans.
Yeah,
Who they look like fucking like
African tribesmen.
yes.
They should be Arab tribesmen, but
Yeah.
But they look like in not Zulu, but one of the movies
Ace
we
Ventura.
watched. Ace Ventura.
Yes.
Yeah, they have like their cake
That's
in
what
like
they look
white
like.
clay,
Yes.
right? Or it's like the eagle. It's like the eagle.
Yeah, similar to the eagle. But I don't know enough about them, so I can't say.
It seems like a modern thing. It didn't
Now,
seem
right
like a
around
biblical
this
thing.
time, Herod, of course, was waging his war on the Nabateans, so it made sense for
Yeah.
them to maybe be in the area doing some raiding. But
Did they kill Mary's father?
no,
So they didn't stab him through the chest and have him die in her arms? Is that what you're saying? I think I'm surprised I have more of a problem with this than you do.
I just it's like
It's wasted energy to be
Yeah.
angry about it.
I guess.
the important
I guess.
stuff is what I was mad about, and then all of this is just like,
Movie.
what are you guys
It's
doing?
movie
You're
stuff,
just
yeah.
making dumb movies now,
Yeah.
with no meaning, with just emptiness.
Yeah.
Which is what I'm so used to coming out of Hollywood. So
Yeah.
it's like I
You're
can't.
But they go to Bethlehem. Anna is sent to distract some guards or soldiers or some shit like that.
Yeah.
But they make it to Bethlehem.
Well, they want her to go in.
Well, okay, so they make the reason for them going to Bethlehem is like they're hiding from guards or something.
Yeah.
Here's the reality of the situation, and we know this because
Well documented.
Yeah, the Romans called for a census.
Yes, which they do in the movie.
Yeah, Augustus wanted to perfect the taxation system, so peoples within Judea had to return to their place of birth, and Joseph's family is from Bethlehem, to be counted, and they figure out, what the tax code needs to be. That's what that was all about. That's why the town was full when they got there, and they couldn't
Mhm.
find room at the inn.
Yes.
And instead, they're like, something going on. And they all know the Messiah's coming.
Yes. So the star. The movie kind of rushes through all this, but this is
Yeah.
like the
movie isn't about this.
right. This is the imagery of Christmas. This is what it's
Yes.
all about.
Mhm.
The star comes, shows the
One
way.
star above them all.
Yes.
One
Star
star
to
to rule
bind
them all.
them.
Yeah.
Uh,
I wasn't even trying to do that. But
And I do like one image a lot in the movie when the guardsman is like relaying the story to Herod, and it shows like the hundreds of shepherds and stuff
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
like watch like at the birth.
were there people at the birth like that?
The shepherds saw the star and Gabriel appeared to them and like is like a king is born here. You go check it out.
Oh,
You
really?
should probably go see this.
You guys watch it.
He's always leading people.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I didn't know there were.
Yeah.
I honestly always thought that it was just the three wise men and them.
The three wise men actually
They're
show
there.
up a couple days later.
Well,
They're
they
not
get
there
there
the night of.
They get there, I believe, January 6th would be our equivalent, right? Isn't that Three Kings
That's when we storm the manger.
Day?
We storm it, and
We stop the count.
yes.
The thing is, here's the
Stop
thing.
the birth.
yeah.
There was a lot of Romans dressed as shepherds.
Yeah. Yeah. Ashley Babbitt, say her name.
No, but that's really funny. No, but isn't January 6th like Greek Christmas?
There is a
or Three Kings Day, something
Three
like that?
Kings Day. I'm not sure the exact date. The Greek Orthodox actually celebrate Christmas, I think, on like January 12th or something. You know, these dates are always
Three
muddled.
Kings Day is January 6th.
Very good.
So, word is
Can you name the
reached-
Three Kings, Steve?
No.
I know you can.
I can't. I
Really?
know one, Baltazar.
Well, he's the
No,
one
I
everyone
can't.
knows.
You were able to, right?
Melkor and Casper.
That's right.
Yeah.
Caspar.
Surprised I forget
Caspar.
Casper.
Yeah. It's
Things I
me,
remember.
Casper.
Oh god.
Now, you know, we traditionally they just say that they're from the East.
Yes.
I think people have figured out what they're kings of, where they come from. I think one maybe like from India.
Really?
Yes. But
Well, Balthazar is always portrayed as like a black dude, right?
no, none of them are black. No one is coming from sub-Saharan Africa. They're coming from the East. So, but I think originally, like in the second century AD, you know, before, you know, you solidify the proper traditions and how things are portrayed, they may have been Zoroastrian priests from Persia.
Really?
That like
They'd be
w-
darker.
heard the prophecy and were like, we need to go check this out. We need to see this.
They'd be darker. I could see why one might be
Um,
portrayed as darker skin.
Oh, sure. I'm not saying, but just not like an African.
Yeah,
man.
not
He's not an
African,
African
yeah,
man.
Yeah.
Even in this, Balthazar is like a black dude.
He is, yeah.
In Ben-Hur, he's like English.
I've seen many different portrayals,
Yeah.
so it's hard. I don't really think it matters.
Yeah, it's not important.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with it. We went over the Lucifer thing in Mary's dream, so
Yeah.
that happens, and Jesus is born. Herod hears about this. There's a king, and he orders probably what might be the most brutal thing ever.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Well, it's throwback to Moses shit because this
Yeah.
is what the Pharaoh ordered.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's
That's why Moses went down the fucking
The
river.
Right,
Kill
yes.
every male infant in Bethlehem.
Yeah. And I think the in Mark it may say like up to like 2-3 years old. It's just babies.
Yeah,
Find the
Just
babies, kill them.
the most innocent.
Yeah.
And
Well, you can't
and
risk
this
that
is-
Messiah getting loose.
Right. And the Holy Family, of course, was warned by Gabriel, and they got out of Dodge before any of this happened
Mhm.
and fled to Egypt, where they stayed for some time.
Yeah. How does
Um,
Marcellus the captain not just kill Herod
right
at that order?
Imagine
How do you not do that?
having to follow that order? My God.
Good soldiers follow orders. They don't think.
That's what Mickey taught us.
Yeah, Mickey
Yeah.
told us that.
Good soldiers do follow orders.
You gotta explain.
But
what
Mickey,
that
it's a
is.
dossier.
It's a dossier. If the Americans find out what we're fighting for.
I don't care. I know how funny it is, but that is such an amazing piece of art. I know, but the ending when you realize like they're not, and he's like a crazy.
I want to go home and see my son Max.
Maya, you can tell Max.
I got the location of the Three Kings.
You do.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Balthazar is often represented as a king of Arabia,
Mm-hmm.
Melkor as a king of Persia,
Mm-hmm.
and Caspar as a king of India.
Yeah.
You know,
Makes
they
sense.
came through Silk Road.
Yes.
The website, yeah.
Which is now shut down.
I
Free
guess rightfully
Ross.
so. I guess rightfully so.
Free
You
Russ
probably,
Ulbricht.
probably shouldn't. Okay. Like we said, they escape. And we're kind of coming up to the end here. The captain finds them. And a fight ensues. There's kicking, there's sword play,
Well,
there's
in
fires.
the end, like the people in the inn decide to try to help them.
Yeah,
There's like
I
a
stopped like
there's like a minor fight.
yeah.
Well, it's not just a minor fight because the captain is ganged up on but kills whoever was hosting Mary and Joseph.
Yeah.
And Joseph takes a flaming net, wraps the captain around it,
This was crazy.
and the captain
is what I
dies by
texted you
being
guys.
burned
Yeah.
alive.
I couldn't believe it.
I
Is
guess
that
it's like
blasphemous?
yeah, a little bit. I would say Joseph. I don't think Joseph
I don't think
took a life. Like,
But it's in defense of
I think
Of
the
God.
message is that if you are against God, you'll burn in hell, kind of thing. But you're having Joseph do it.
I don't know what to even make of this. I don't know.
look
You
to
know
me. I
what to
don't know.
make of it.
It's just
You
crazy.
know what.
I
to
don't
make
have a
of it.
problem with this personally, obviously. But to me, I was like,
I
okay,
mean, they made him heroic, but like,
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
they made him heroic.
he's stepping up.
You know what it is? It's like
But it's
almost
against the commandment.
heroic in like a pagan sense.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's
you know,
against
hold
the
on.
commandment.
But no, it's you're allowed to kill
Yes.
in defense of like,
Save the innocent. My God.
yeah.
Well, yeah, but I know
It's
that.
not suicidal.
I know that, but thou shalt not kill is for somebody who's that level. Like you're the father.
He's
of God.
defending God himself.
Yeah, I get it.
I don't think it's sinful what he did,
Yeah.
but one, this isn't descriptive. This didn't happen.
Yeah, this
No,
is
no,
it.
that's the point.
Yeah. But
It's ridiculous.
But, like,
he
putting-
rides through
putting
flame
this
in a
in the-
horse.
putting this in the movie to like give your hero like heroicness is very fucking like Thor, you know?
Yeah.
It's not super badass. So it's not like he kicks his ass. It's like they ganged up on him and he kind of outsmarted him and got him in like a certain way.
I mean, Jesus got thrown off a roof and Mary got jumped off a roof. It was it was chaos.
it would have been awesome if she threw Jesus and he's just like
Floated,
hovering above
yeah.
the ground.
I wouldn't have been surprised if that happened. I wouldn't have been surprised.
Okay.
Well, after they get away.
Yes.
Yeah, Gabriel stops Herod from killing children because he just loves to just show up and be like, "Hey, you, stop it."
Well, no, he
Stop
he
it.
has like all the kids like in the temple, right?
And, yeah, none of
Does
them
he?
are Jesus.
Yeah, none
Which
of
they
them
know,
are Jesus.
but he's
Alright.
still like,
Oh,
"Where are you?"
right,
Yeah.
yes.
But Gabriel's like, you don't have.
He says you're evil.
Right.
he's-
Yeah.
You don't
Your
have
time's up.
wicked.
Jesus. You're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Herod.
time
This
is
is when
up.
this is when Anthony Hopkins chewing scenery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had enough. They leave him. Joseph and Mary make it to the temple of Incredible Hats, and they accept Jesus as their Lord. And
It's a Monty Python sketch.
Yeah.
yeah,
The Temple of Incredible
Yes.
Hats.
and that's kind of
Now
that's
I
it.
do have.
You know,
I do have a question. Supposedly, isn't there not much said about Jesus in the Bible from birth until basically 33?
No. Well, we got
That's
birth.
once again, that's
No,
dogma.
that's
We got birth. Then we got like 10-year-old kid when he goes to the temple.
so he doesn't go to the temple as a baby.
No.
Okay, so
Um,
that's not in the Bible either. This
no.
ending.
and then we get the ministry, as a man.
Okay.
No, the kid story is like they couldn't find him. Mary and Joseph were looking for him. He was missing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and when they found him, he was in the temple, like as 10 years old, teaching the priest things. He was like
Okay.
being a
Conduit.
yeah. He was having a sermon, teaching them shit. It was
Okay.
about his father's work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carpenter looks off. Isn't that in Ben Hur? There's like a scene.
Is it?
right?
I don't remember.
I think it's
I haven't
like
seen it in so
remember
long.
that,
I watch it every year.
Mhm.
So there's like a scene where because the movie opens, with like the nativity, like the
Mhm.
star and all that,
Yeah.
and then it's like it cuts and you see like a guy like doing woodwork of some sort,
Oh, this is when he gives the water and Charlton Heston.
Before that, there's a line about like he's off to do his father's work. Or his father's like a carpenter, and they're like something like to that effect. And it's like he doesn't, because Jesus doesn't talk in that, but it's something where it's like not that father.
We know,
yeah. And it's like there's like a pause, you know.
It's like remember the end of Bread and Circuses, the Star Trek episode. Imagine to be able to watch it happen all over again. No, it's not they're not worshiping the sun. It's the Son of God.
It's such a weird moment in TOS to just be like, isn't Christianity great?
Well, that's the movie.
I know you watched it, but did you ever see Steve on Fun Bearable when I was on and I did my Star Trek Christmas episode pitch?
I didn't watch it. I was there, wasn't I?
Oh, you were there. You were in the room when I did it. Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah. The Kirks.
Brian, the man of 1,000 podcast episodes.
Yeah.
How many did you do?
You've done a lot. Now.
I did like almost 30 this year.
Holy shit.
30 extra.
30. I did
hours.
30 additional podcasts to promote the Christmas pod.
I guess it paid off because we made some dough.
I worked my fucking ass off.
You certainly did.
It's going to be great when I embezzle it all. Your labor, my profit.
Nothing to do with anything. Remember the dream that Jan has in the Brady Bunch movie? Marsha's hair is so beautiful. That's why I'm going to make so much money when I sell it.
Well, it's like they say,
I love your new hairstyle.
It's like they say, render unto Stephen that which is Stephen's. But speaking of the Christmas pod, you're just in time right before the end of the Christmas season. Our Christmas merch is going away December 26th on the website. So go get it now. It will not be there again.
Oh, crap. I got to fucking set that date.
If you want to get your Christmas free,
I still haven't heard the Die Hard show.
I got it uploaded, so I'm sorry.
It's okay. I guess I should just buy it.
I'll send it to you. Save your money.
Yeah,
you guys don't save your money. If you haven't got it, go to bandcamp.com, reviewing history, buy the Christmas freak off. There's also a bundle with last year's. If you're a Johnny come lately, step up, be like Joseph, buy the Christmas album. Is that
like Kurt?
Is that blasphemous to use Joseph to step up and buy?
He steps up.
He steps up.
He steps up.
But I'm using him to sell the Christmas pod. It doesn't feel right.
Yeah, you know what? Let's stick with Kurt.
Yeah. Be like Kurt Warner. Step up, buy the Christmas pod. It's a good time.
Last Christmas, I bought a podcast.
I'm hosting Christmas for the first time this year.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because last year we did Christmas Eve on Staten Island.
With the Cranks.
And Christmas Day. Yeah, we did Christmas with the Cranks.
So you're hosting, huh?
Tim Allen with a bad spray tan. Yeah. But it was too much last year to go to Staten Island 2 days in a row and getting home late, doing Christmas morning. Yeah. We were exhausted. So I was like, we got to do one of these days in our house.
Nice.
It's going to be like Lampoon.
Yeah, so we picked Christmas Day as in our spot.
Well, good luck.
So we're having a lot of people. I had maids come to clean the house.
Maids of milking?
Maids of milking, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So your house is clean? I want to see it. Take pictures.
I will.
I told them out to kill Bajoran scum, but they felt clean.
Best episode.
Duet?
Best episode.
Best episode, Deep Space Nine.
For me.
It's not the best episode, but it's a good one. I love it.
That's what got me in.
Yeah, me too. That was when I realized it was better than Next Gen.
Yeah.
Best episode for me is probably Devil in the Pale Moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
Is that which is the episode where
Sacrifice of Angels?
No, it's a
In the Pale Moonlight.
In the Pale Moonlight. That's the best episode.
That's good too.
A great one.
And I can live with you.
Yeah, that's
Waltz
a really good one.
Waltz is great. I love Paper Moon.
Yeah. Amazing episode. Sacrifice of Angels, of course.
Yeah.
Well, that's all great.
R.I.P. James
What do
Dapper.
we?
I love the whole arc where the Dominion controls the station. That's
so
the
good.
best shit.
And they got to get it back.
Yeah.
He left the baseball. Man.
Yeah.
What do we rate this? What do you rate this movie?
I gave it a 5.
I understand
It's
that.
totally fine. It's so forgettable. There's nothing special here to remember.
As a movie,
Nothing I don't know.
taking the scripture away, I would give it a 4.
I'm with Steve.
Yeah, it's just
As a
not
movie,
good.
it's like a 4.
Yeah.
Throw the sacrilege in, and now I'm at a 0.
Yeah, now you're at a 0. Yeah, it's gotta be. You can't give it anything. It's a negative. But yeah, that's it. That's Mary. Netflix, you did it again.
I wish you guys.
Hold on, but they did it in a way nobody saw coming. Right? Am I right? I thought
tricked
it was
you.
going to be girl bossy. I did not expect Joseph doing fucking combat.
Action hero.
Yeah. So
Yeah, who would have thought? Who would have thought Netflix makes a steaming pile of shit
Again, I don't think it was something with ill intent.
yeah, right.
It's hard to judge that after reviewing it just now. Maybe I'm just angry. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you're ornery.
Mm.
I wish I had my book with me. I'm going
Why?
to put it up here for the audience because I drew
the
the
drawing?
nativity.
Oh,
Oh
no.
God, you don't have it?
Yeah,
That's why Steve left the episode.
Maybe we shouldn't show it.
What happened?
What do you mean when I left?
I
the
left my
episode?
book at home and we were running late, so I
Oh,
didn't run home to get it.
okay.
That's
Yeah,
why Steve led the
That's
episode.
why I was guiding the points.
Oh.
Yeah. Which
You were in the
sometimes
background.
we,
Yeah.
sometimes we
Great
switch.
job.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes we switch back and
Yeah.
forth.
You guys want to say bye?
Bye.
Bye.
Guys, thank you so much for
Merry
joining
Christmas.
us. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. No happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Oh, we say Merry Christmas on this pod. Want to thank you guys for joining us all year. We really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who bought the Christmas pod. Thank you to Tom, Steve, Dave, Brywalt, Q, Get 'em. Let us record down in the studio. We greatly appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. Let everybody know. Let the word and the message of reviewing history enter your heart. And tell others. I think at this point, with all the religious stuff we did in December, I think we're God's favorite podcast.
We gotta be. We gotta be.
Aren't there religious podcasts?
Yeah, but they're old hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not funny.
Like
God's
he's
got a
like,
sense
you
of humor.
gotta
you know
listen to
what I
this,
mean?
but if in your spare time when it's time to have some fun, throw this one on.
Yeah. He's got a sense of humor. It's through him that we have humor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Guys, again, thank you all. Review History Pod on Twitter, Reviewing History Pod everywhere else. Follow me personally on all social media at Brian Rupert. That's with 2 P's. Follow me on Letterboxd. I rank and review every single movie I watch, even the ones in my personal life. Thank you guys so much again. We'll see you next time. Merry Christmas.